While we were all caught up with the senior race, the junior category was where the real fun was taking place. At the start of the Saturday Formula 2 sprint event, a massive 5-man collision occurred on the very first lap. This accident, which looked like something straight out of Hollywood, was as dangerous as it was spectacular. When it happened, nobody could explain the exact sequence of events that led to it. For the very first time, we witnessed the commentators completely lost for an explanation. With all the feeds in front of them, they just couldn't tell us what just happened. So they started sorting through replays after replays from different camera angles and were essentially guessing. Next, they began grabbing footage from the cams of the drivers with the hope of getting something. But the collision had set off a huge cloud of smoke and the onboard cameras couldn't see much. While Kimi Antonelli's cam couldn't explain what happened, it nonetheless showed us his horrendous start. Having started P6, the Mercedes Junior went to sleep as 6 cars flew by him. On the other hand, his teammate Ollie Bearman, who started P8, gained 3 places after the mayhem. Soon enough, help came from the overhead cam of a helicopter, which finally revealed how the incident occurred. As it happened, Roman Stenek tagged Dennis Hauger into a spin. This caused Joshua Dirksen to brake in avoidance, and this in turn left Enzo Fittipaldi and Isaac Hadger with nowhere to go, and that led to all 5 drivers retiring for the day. But just when we were fooled that the rest of the race would continue as normal, these F2 drivers had one more drama up their sleeves, and they waited till the very last lap to serve it. Franco Colapinto, the junior driver from Williams, essentially elbowed Paul Aaron and took the first place from him with 1 lap to go. Aaron was furious over the radio and protested that the move to overtake him couldn't possibly be legal. Of course it's all legal, Aaron. Ain't you tired of boring races? And that ended one of the most enthralling sprint races in F2. But if you thought the sprint race was breathtaking, well, grab your inhaler, because the main F2 race took the air out of the room with tires flying in the skies. But before we go to the main F2 race, we thought to serve you some interesting takes from the senior race involving Fernando Alonso. But even before then, we urge you to check out our beautiful mugs. Our merches will get to you in 5 to 10 days worldwide. Back to Alonso's race. If you remember the Chinese Grand Prix, Alonso made a spectacular save to avoid the gravel. While Alonso was able to save the car, Carlos Sainz drove his car straight into the gravel at the exact turn. Some fans said Alonso was able to save his car because he's more experienced, but we wonder what the same people will say because a similar situation happened in the Imola qualifying, and Alonso this time around went straight into the gravel. Having started P19, the Spaniard's bad luck continued in the main race, when he went for a new set of tires on lap 14. As he exited the pits, his front left tire casually caught fire, but as he hit the throttle on the pit exit, the wind killed the fire. While Alonso battled with bad luck for the rest of the race, we'll take you back to the F2 feature race at the main event on Sunday. Ollie Bearman started P2, and he raced into the lead at lights out. His fellow Prima teammate, Kimi Antonelli, was in P5. By the 7th lap, the driver started pitting, and Bearman, who was the race leader, went in for a fresh set. But what happened as they changed his tire was rather unexpected. In Formula 2, tire changes are usually slower because, unlike F1, only one crew member is assigned to each tire, and the same person is expected to remove and replace the tires. While the pit crew did an excellent job of replacing the tires on time, Bearman's car completely stalled as the engine cut off. A crewman quickly restarted the engine, and just when we thought he's good to go, his engine stalled a second time. An F1 engine, just like the everyday car, will stall when the rev is too low. But in F1, a stall will be the end of a driver's race if it didn't happen in the pits, as the drivers can't start the engine themselves. In F1, a stall could be due to a driver letting go of the clutch too fast. An error by Bearman looks likely the cause of the problem, however, maybe because he drove FP1 in an F1 car for Haas on Friday. He hasn't really adjusted back to the realities of driving an F2 car on Sunday. He paid for the error anyway, and lost his advantage when he finally made it out of the pit lane. But just like Bearman, yet another driver lost his lead in the pits as well. Amari Cordell, the high-tech driver, was leading the race when he went in for a new set of super soft tires with 4 laps to go. F2 has the same set of hard, medium, and soft tires as F1, and they have the same color code. However, there is fourth tire called the Super Soft in F2 that comes with a purple color. As it happened, one of the pit crew weren't quite done with the right rear tire before Cordell was cleared to leave. Tire came right off, struck another tire, and was sent in the air. Cordell's tire issue prevented a campus racing crew member from properly screwing the tire on Marty's car, and as the Red Bull Jr. rode out of the pits, his own tires came right off. Although the F1 race in Italy was one of the closest races we've seen in a long time, F2 was definitely so much fun. Leave us your thoughts in the comments. This is Front Lockout, signing off.